What's up, guys? I want to show you 13 of the best deals that I have flipped on Facebook Marketplace from home in the past week or two. I sold all this stuff for over $4,000, and on these particular deals, my gross profit was about 44%. So I take an unconventional approach to flipping on Facebook Marketplace. I actually do it entirely from home because I make the most money this way and it's the most efficient. As you can see in this video, I use a very wide search radius and I look across the country for deals rather than limiting myself to my own local area. I generally only look at newly listed items and I just go from city to city looking for deals all across the country. When I find a good deal, I request the seller to ship me their item. And while most people will say no to this, enough people say yes that this turns out to be extremely profitable. Okay, the deal you're seeing here is a bundle of two different Game Boys. One was a Game Boy Pocket, you can see on bottom there, and the one on top is a Game Boy Color. And they're asking $40. This was in Missouri. I'm in Texas, just so you know. And here's my conversation with the seller. You guys have seen my videos in the past. You know how I generally request people to ship me their items. You can see I confirm here that she is asking, in fact, $40 for both, and then I end up offering $50 through PayPal Goods and Services to have them both shipped so that I have buyer protection. She agrees, and I get the Game Boys. I actually didn't have any games on hand to test them out and confirm that they work, so I just sold them untested for a quick flip of $89.99. You know, ideally I could have waited until I had some games on hand to make sure that they work, but I just like to keep the cash flowing quickly in my business. Okay, this next deal was a Nintendo 3DS XL video game console. This was listed in California for $80. I want you guys to notice that in this screenshot it says it was listed 22 minutes ago and it's already marked sold. This screenshot was taken after I had already closed the deal. Remember I said I generally only browse newly listed items. There's a lot of competition out there. People flip on Facebook Marketplace all over the country. And especially when you're trying to get someone to ship you something, you really have to be first. So I ended up messaging this seller like 3 minutes after she had listed this. And notice in the description, I'm fighting an uphill battle. She wants cash only, must meet in person. So I ended up having to offer her $120 to have this shipped to me. So some of you may notice that this doesn't look like a normal Nintendo 3DS XL console. If you look closely, there's a special pattern on it. And it's actually a limited edition rare Fire Emblem console. And in general, limited edition Nintendo video game consoles tend to go up in price. This one in particular is very rare, and it's important to realize that most people who aren't video game nerds don't realize that this is a special edition console. I mean, even the seller who owns this console doesn't realize it. I mean, otherwise she would be going on and on about it in the description, saying how rare it is, how much it's worth. This is why you need to do your research and find the item on eBay solds. The sold comps on eBay are your gold standard for how much something is worth on the secondary market. And a quick review of the eBay comps shows you that this is a very rare, valuable console. I ended up listing this on eBay and sold it in less than an hour for $300 plus shipping. And this next one was actually another special edition Nintendo 3DS XL video game console. This was a red Pokemon XY edition. It was listed in Pocatello, Idaho. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, for $90. I ended up offering $100 to have it shipped to me. I received it and then sold it on Facebook Marketplace shipping for $200. And just for the record, I always charge my buyers shipping. It's just how I sell my items. You can easily run your entire business with free shipping. Just incorporate the shipping cost into your listing price. I just charge shipping. Okay, this next one was kind of interesting. It was a bundle of Garmin dog GPS equipment. This was listed in North Carolina for $600. And the seller of this equipment was actually extremely wary of me. He had a local buyer who said they wanted to come like next week for $600 cash. And, you know, I'm across the country offering him money through PayPal. Long story short, I ended up having to get on the phone with this guy. I have a phone call with him, send him a picture of my employee badge, my work badge, and offer him $900 to have this stuff shipped to me. But he finally agreed. So I ended up getting this stuff shipped to me for $900 through PayPal Goods and Services. So a few days later, I received the package, listed on eBay, and luckily it sold within about 6 hours for $1,349 plus shipping. Okay, this next one was a bundle of 3 GameCube controllers listed in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania for $15. So notice that there's 1 wired controller and 2 Wavebird wireless controllers. This was a low enough listing price that I had to specify with the seller, are you saying $15 per per controller or $15 for all controllers. Amazingly, she meant $15 for all 3 of them. So the thing is with the Wavebird controllers, I didn't see any receivers in this picture or any of her pictures. These receivers are required to plug into the GameCube to receive the signal from the controllers to actually use them wirelessly. These are so frequently lost that they've become rare and actually more valuable sometimes than the controllers themselves. You can see this one went for $50 by itself on eBay. So I clarify in messages with her, do you have the receivers? She said, yes, I do. She's got 2 of them to go with the 2 Wavebirds. Ended up offering her $50 shipped for all 3 of these. She agreed to my offer and shipped them all to me for $50, and then I sold them all 3 separately on Facebook Marketplace shipping. I got $50 plus shipping for the first Wavebird controller, then $50 plus shipping for the second Wavebird controller, and then finally $20 plus shipping for the wired controller. Okay, this next one was super simple. I love these Texas Instrument graphing calculator flips. They're just so easy. Ended up finding this as a buy it now listing on Facebook Marketplace for $40. After taxes and shipping, ended up paying $47. Then I received the package, threw it back up on Facebook Marketplace for $85 plus shipping, and it sold in about a day. Okay, the ROI on this next deal was amazing. I ended up finding several listings from the same seller. She was selling a couple of Nintendo 3DS consoles and then a bunch of DS and 3DS games. We ended up agreeing on all of these games plus one of those consoles for $77 shipped. And so this is how I split everything up. I sold the console by itself for $150 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace. Then I split the games into 3 separate listings. This Pokemon Platinum game by itself is worth over $100, so I sold this by itself for $108 plus shipping. Then the next game bundle went for $85 by itself, and then finally the other game bundle went for $70 plus shipping by itself. So all in all, I turned $77 into $413 gross revenue on that. That's just insane. So I'm hoping this serves as an example that the first thing you should do when you find a good deal is click on the seller's marketplace profile and see what else they have listed. People love making bundle deals. All right, this next one was a Nintendo Switch bundle. So as you can see here, this is just the console, 2 game cartridges, and then he actually had a case and then just like a USB cord with it. So I'll put on a screen here, what all I received when I got the package. For some reason, my screenshot got cut off, but this was listed for $200. Ended up paying him $210 to have this shipped to me. And then I sold it on Facebook Marketplace shipping for $295 plus shipping. Up next was another 3DS XL bundle. So here you see there's a Nintendo 3DS on the left here. It's a 3DS XL. The joystick you can see is completely broken off. Actually ended up still working, but certainly has some damage. You guys have seen in my videos in the past, damaged items can be a good opportunity. Sometimes the seller overestimates how much that diminishes the value of their item. In this particular case, the seller was asking $80 for the console plus the 6 games you see in the next picture on the right. This listing actually sat for sale for a while. Usually the deals that I get are fresh, like they're just listed. I'm the first one who messages the person, but I think a lot of people passed up on this because of the damage. I ended up offering $85 total to have this shipped to me, and the seller agreed. So I ended up splitting this up as the console plus 4 games and then the 2 Pokemon games. So the console plus 4 games sold for $125 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace. Then the 2 Pokemon games sold for $60 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace as well. So all in all turned $85 into $185. Okay, more video games. The next one was a Nintendo 2DS XL console with a case, the charger, and 1 game. You can see the seller actually incorrectly titled this listing. They say it is a Nintendo 3DS when in fact it is a 2DS XL. This one was in Lincoln, Nebraska. Ended up offering $80 to have this all shipped to me, and then it sold fairly quickly on eBay for $159.99 plus shipping. Okay, this next one was a Nintendo Switch bundle that actually was not too far from me. It was just the next city over in Texas. As you can see, they're asking $250. There's a Nintendo Switch, the TV dock, the power supply, a few of the Joy-Con accessories. Then in the bottom right, you can see there's a wireless Pro controller. Looks to be a genuine Nintendo. Ended up coming to an agreement with the seller to have all of this shipped to me for $280. So here's how I split it up. I took the Nintendo Switch with the accessories that it came with, besides the Pro controller, and threw in the cheap NBA 2K game and sold that locally as a bundle for $260 cash. Then I bundled together 3 of the good games, Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Mario Odyssey. I kind of felt like those 3 would appeal to the same crowd, so I put them as a bundle. got $120 plus shipping for those on Facebook Marketplace. Then I sold the Pro controller by itself for $35 plus shipping, and then finally got $35 plus shipping for Skyrim. So all in all, turned $280 into $450. Pretty good. Okay, this next deal, the 5 games that you're seeing here all came from the same listing. So essentially, a woman had set up a listing that were just like 10 pictures of games piled up to the ceiling in her basement, like tons and tons of old dusty video games. And some of them looked great. Most of them looked like they were not worth much. And so I'm thinking to myself, there's no way she's going to ship all of this stuff to me. So I ended up letting her know, look, I'm not local. I'm wondering, would you ship 5 games to me? Would you let me pick 5 games out for $100? And initially she said no, but then about an hour later she came back to me and she's like, look, I'm having a lot of local people flaking on me. I think I'll take your offer. So I ended up picking these 5 games out. And so she shipped all of these to me for $100 total. I ended up selling them all on Facebook Marketplace shipping. So the game on the top left there, Pokemon Soul Silver, ended up selling this on Facebook Marketplace for $75 plus shipping. Then I sold Pokemon Fire Red. This was a reproduction cartridge, so it wasn't authentic. Only sold this for $15 plus shipping. Then the 2 Nintendo 64 games, I sold Pokemon Stadium for $27 plus shipping. Then Pokemon Stadium 2 for $60 plus shipping. And then finally I sold Mario Party for $25 plus shipping. So all in all, turned $100 into about $200. Okay, so the last one was another Nintendo Switch bundle. Apologies for the poor, listing photo here. The seller of this item actually deleted it from Marketplace very quickly after I had purchased it, so I could not get a good listing photo for you guys, but I will lay out everything that I received. So here is my own photo. I ended up paying $293 total to have this all shipped to me. And if you guys are wondering why the amount of money that I pay for some of these deals are like weird random numbers, sometimes the seller just wants me to cover the exact shipping, so that's why they come out to be those weird numbers. So paid $293 total for this shipped. So let me show you how I split it up. This bundle had a cool like messenger bag Zelda case with it. I ended up selling that with the console bundle plus Mortal Kombat for $325 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace. And then I sold the other 3 games as a bundle for $110 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace. So all in all, $293 in, and then made $435 revenue. All right, guys, that's it for this video. So all in all, my sales were just about $4,124. My gross profit from those sales was just about $1,812. If you guys liked the video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see y'all in the next one.